seen Fiora come out to play. And rightfully so. They managed to get the first 2 picks. Obviously, after the priority pick on blue side, they do get the next 2 picks on red. So I think going for the Fiora for one of those first 2 picks is probably a good shout. But considering that the Camille in the Baron lane is down, Fiora is always a very good shout to go into, especially with the likes of Varus, especially within on these team fights, with the synergy of Chains of Corruption. And we see that Haters go for the Garen in the Baron lane. 2 big tanky picks.
Yeah, it does seem that APHRO loves prioritizing those like hull breaker champs, the champs that can just sit on the side lane and completely take over the game. It looks like they have a lot of faith in their top laner. We'll have to see if it's well placed. Last game, it definitely was. Their faith was well placed. We'll have to see if he can continue that streak this game.
Definitely. But we're seeing the Lux come through as well, which is a interesting pick. Lux recently going through a rework for those that have probably not been playing Wild Rift because Season 10's been a nightmare. But we were seeing it quite a lot within EU towards the end of Rift Legends Season 2, that Lux came through. Very well picked, especially with the roots as well, going through the minion camps also now. So a great piece of change there for Lux. Obviously the E doesn't slow now anymore, but that is a debate to be had on another time. We get the Jace come through. Like I mentioned yesterday to Rafa, the Jace is renowned with a great win rate. Whenever there's a Jace on the team, it generally goes in the favor of the people that have picked that Jace anyway, in the terms of EU anyway. But we saw it yesterday. Jace was picked and Jace absolutely did bits. He did mighty bits. But they have the poke range of Varus, and they also have the poke range of Jace, as well. And we also saw a great little bit of mechanics with Jace being able to knock back the Rift Herald, so denying the Rift Herald actually even hitting the turret. So APHRO's Z3 strike me as a team that would probably use that mechanic also. But not to get too carried away about the picks, we have some interesting bans. Do you want to run through those for me, V?
Yeah, the Olaf, Vi, and Zinzao. So I guess they're targeting Mystigen. And the Volibear picked. I'm struggling to think of like another frontline jungler that... Oh, I mean, obviously besides his patented Leona, but maybe he'll bring it out here.
They're going for it. It looks like they're going for it. Which is
massive.
Well, it is massive, and we have manifested the second thing we wanted. We got Reaper's Shed in the first match, and we got Mr. Jin's Leona in the second match. Paired with the Garen and the Galio is going to be a big front line to actually contest with, but they do have the likes of the Volibear. Volibear be able to dive over anything with that ult, and then Fiora, she has her way with those lunges, with those parries, and then they have the poke damage potential from the Varus and the Jace also, but they do lock in Aurelia for the final pick of Haters.
It does appear to be Lux Gallia bot lane. I'm speaking a bit soon, but I do know that Tempest, the AD carry for Haters, does love playing Mage's bot lane, so I'm assuming the Lux will be for them. Gragas is the last pick as well.
Yeah, we're probably going to see that Aurelia go into the mid lane against the Jace. We see this quite often, where if there is even a tinge of an assassin or a brawler in that mid lane, it's generally met with another melee champion also. So the Aurelia is a solid pick there, especially with that single target CC. They've just got to make sure Lunari manages to stack her passive, which just makes it so much harder to take out the Aurelia, and she does so much more damage. But yeah, the Gragas as support pick is massive for them, especially with the likes of the Volibear. We know that Gragas has great potential with his ultimate to split team fights as well, which could be troublesome for Haters if they do get split apart too far. And then literally, if you just run a simulation right now, Gragas launches the barrel, splits it into a 3-2. Say, for example, the Lux is being caught out by the Volibear being able to just ult in over everybody else, take out the Lux, which is massive AP damage output down. And then you just let the Gragas roll in with the belly flop. Jace coming in with that slam dunk hammer, and then the Fiora as well. So I feel like you can kind of see what's going to happen already in this matchup. And let's have a cheeky little look at those ruins. Glacial augment on the supports, pretty much standard nowadays for that damage reduction and movement speed decrease. And then we also have the first strike on Varus and the Jace, and not a single first strike on the side of haters.
I think another thing to note is that both teams are picking a lot of comfort champions. Like, I've been told that Ramita from APHRO likes playing Gragas support. Mr. and Leona, obviously. Tempest, the AD carry for haters. Lux and Kitchen Cabinets Galio. It seems like, and APHRO's top laner loves playing Hullbreaker champs, it looks like, from what I've seen. So, very, very good comfort picks for both sides. We'll have to see an incredible show of mechanics from both sides. We'll see. I'm excited.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, we didn't quite get the Jace for Z3 last week, but the likes of the Volibear, the Gragas 2 times. So, like you say, the comfort pick for Ramita is definitely that Gragas, and he does play it very well. The Fiora is a bit of a new one, and the Jace as well as the Varus. I mean, Varus played very well first match. Tempo already cooking up a little bit here. Tengen currently taking more damage out of that little interaction rather than the Aurelia.
Yeah, he was in the minion wave when he went for that shot against Aurelia, so she did take advantage of those minion damage and had a positive trade. It's like Fiora's pushing into Garen, with Leona pathing to the Fioras.
Okay, we missed out on the first blood. Lunaria getting one up on Tengen. Is the Aurelia pick a little bit more comfortable than the Jace right now?
Yeah, it was very fast. Just absolute slaughter. Aurelia early game, especially with Kraken Slayer, is extremely dangerous.
It's feisty. It is a very feisty there. The Garen and the Fiora having a little bit of a slap and tickle up in that Baron lane. Mr. Jin coming in with the Zenith played. Parry nicely done, but oh, massive. Volibear is in there. Wizzle looking pretty low, but Mr. Jin also looking very low, managing to get that honeydew fruit, and Sniper from the sideline from Tengen, and then another slam dunk on the hammer as well. Can they get Lord Barris down also? Just about they managed to do it. That was massive for Tengen after losing first blood. He comes back with a fantastic rotation up into that top lane.
Lunari trying to clean up as well, but will not find anything. Unfortunately, Fiora can just walk out. Yeah, beautiful rotation from the support. And the Jace, obviously. They come topside, clean up the kills. I don't think Haters was expecting that early support round.
Definitely not. No, it was a massive rotation and engage there in that Baron lane. It was definitely what we needed. The gas is up to 11 right now. We have cooking going on. They are letting to be cook. It is the version of the Great British Bake Off currently happening in Wild Rift currently. There is a lot of cooking going on, especially from Tengen after what was an unfortunate first blood, coming back and redeeming himself for 2 kills from a fantastic rotation is just amazing. But we didn't quite see anything pop off in that Baron lane. It was very close. Fiora was very low health. I thought we was going to see another... Oh, okay, Mr. Jin gets the kill, but Red Team also getting a trade there also onto the Varus.
Yeah, I just want to mention this. Aurelia has lethality items. I've personally never seen this before. I'm excited to see how this turns out. It's viable.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to go for Yumu's, I think, first item.
The Jace is just... Look at the top mid and support for APHRO, all building those armor boots. Like such a valuable item.
It is a great item. And then we have the Berserker Greaves, I think it is, or is that the boots of the one that me and Stu both struggle to pronounce, the boots of Dynasm? I think it is Berserker boots, yeah.
If you gets push.
Not much going on currently here. I mean, considering how powerful that first early part of the match was 3 minutes. It was a very feisty. We're seeing a little bit of a more tamed approach currently as we approach the jungle objectives first time around. Will we see APHRO Z3 go for the Rift Herald once again, or will we see a bigger contest for the first dragon? With it being Mountain Drake, it is a much better first dragon than the Ice Drake, I would say. But we're getting a bit of an engage here onto Lunari. We have Chains of Corruption as well being placed. That has been used. Galio's Hero's Entrance going in. Jace getting a kill onto the Aurelia once again. Unfortunately, oh, I mean, Lux has a ult, but she's not using it on the recall champions. She could have got a kill. Oh, Frosties, oh, what was you doing there? That was free real estate.
Waiting for the recall to completely go off, and then when they went to base, snipe them before their health regens. But unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Unfortunate for haters there. I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity. Reaper going for the Rift Herald once again, so we see it. Haters not quite getting that great first start onto the Dragon. Also, we got Volibear going still in the mid lane. Tengen still holding on for dear life with very little health. We do see, however, Frosty was just hanging around in that tri-bush, not quite making any advancements onto... Oh my
What a beautiful snipe from that Varus.
That was amazing. Chains of Corruption as well onto Lunari. This is pretty much a shutdown for Mountain Drake. So first, jungle objectives, 100% APHRO, which is massive. Absolutely massive.
And no contest on the Rift Herald, and then Gragas and Gragas in the bot lane, as well as Tengen coming in to stall for that Drake. It's the whole mid turret. What a insane gold swing, 5,000 gold, as well as the Mountain Drake already. Really insane stuff from APHRO.
Definitely. I mean, something that Kangas picked up on last week was that APHRO had a really great tempo towards their matches. Like, the rhythm felt really on point. Like, they knew when to rotate, they knew when to go to jungle objectives, and it's just definitely showing more so in this match, especially with the 100% jungle objective takedown first wave as well this time around, and then obviously with the Jace rotation early game also. That was fantastically... It was amazing. It was like watching the best Russian dancers go at it, but for Jace rotating up in that Baron lane and getting a double kill was just amazing for APHRO. I think setting up from that point, it was kind of like set in stone currently that APHRO are ahead in gold, in kills, in jungle objectives, and in gold. So they have everything going for them right now. Lunari could possibly get caught out on a 3v1 on the turret here. Galio going in with that Hero's Entrance with a knockup, but unfortunately we see Varus managing to get another kill onto Lunaria. So again, another repeat of Lunari's performance, getting caught out very early game on these 3v1s. Hopefully Lunaria can bounce back a little bit towards the end. Jace just quite missing off that poke damage as well, but still committed onto the Galio. Are they going to do enough damage? Volibear straight in onto the Lux under the turret. They do not care. They have the minions under the second tier turret, but they are falling back here because Lunaria is back up and Leona is coming in as well.
I really look for an angle here. Oh, he got the acceleration gate out of there. Luckily for the Gragas, he had the Jace with him. All hovering bot side. Top lane is kind of just pretty neutral. Nothing too much going on. Fiora does have that gold lead, but it's she's not really able to touch that tower with Garen there, just standing to protect it.
Yeah, it's a well-oiled machine. It's running itself currently. Fiora and Jax, not Jax, sorry, I'm clearly having PTSD from that last match in the Baron lane for APHRO. Fiora and Garen currently just sort of tit for tat. Garen's only death was when we saw Tengen rotate up into that top lane, and Fiora is currently just sitting at a comfortable 2 assists. She's ahead with 1.2k gold, which for a lane difference at 8 minutes in is quite good, to be honest. But we're seeing Lunaria once again just overextending, getting caught out. This is something that Lunaria is needing to learn a little bit better, is he's overextending, not knowing where your enemy team is. There is no vision on blue side in the red jungle currently, which is obviously hindering this line of sight. Galio going in with a massive grand hero entrance. Could they possibly do something? Leona's ult in on there. Status on the Gragas after forcing 2 ultimates. Garen getting the kill onto the Volibear, though. That could be huge. Can they get the Varus as well? Varus looking pretty low. They're trying to do something, but double kill for Garen. Lord Baros popping off there. He called back for that double kill. He has got a rain check on that double kill that Tengen got onto Varus in that early game. So fair play to Lord Baros there, actually managing to get a great double kill. It's now put his goal difference ahead of the Fiora.
And while it might not do a ton for the state of the game, it could give haters that mental boost that they need. Because I know that when you're in like difficult situations, it's like the comms go kind of silent sometimes, you know. But winning a fight is like really, really good for team mental. So hopefully they can make use of this, turn it around, get to see our game 3 that we hope for.
Definitely, definitely. Like you said, it didn't do much for the game, but I think it is good for the mental of the team. Infernal Drake up next also. So if they can manage to get this, APHRO would be crazy. If we can get haters to get the Infernal Drake, but we're seeing a lot of ults being popped off here. Lunaria coming back with a double kill. Oh, is this the turning point, the archetypal point for Lunaria to come back like we saw in the first match? But she does go down there after getting a steady double kill onto APHRO. APHRO currently fighting a 4v2, but massive for haters. They managed to get a great team fight down in this mid lane, and they're not stopping. They're under the first tier turret. Volibear is holding on for his dear life. They managed to wipe out the entire team, but will they go for the Infernal Drake knowing that their jungler is now down?
I'm looking at like a Garen and a Lux, and they already have Jace and Varus respawn. So exactly. I don't think they'll go for that Drake. They don't have enough damage. But yeah, what an amazing fight. That Galio was so impactful. Taunting like 10 people in total. That was insane. Like,
yeah, it's one of Galio's greatest features is that massive AoE taunt in those team fights. But I think it was good for haters not to approach and try and take the Infernal Dragon, because the cooldown death timer on Leona, also with the Volibear as well, was at least like 25 seconds after that team wipe there. So not having that smite, but having somebody like the Jace coming back into it as well could be easily sniped. That missed Tengen also getting caught out there with the Zenith Blade and the Leona ult status from the Gragas there. Ramita looking to be taken out by Garen. Garen's now slowly popping off, and his lane is not looking the healthiest, but he does have minions at the first tier turret, so he is currently in a bit of a net positive position right now, and it is probably the best time and the only time he's going to be able to get into these team fights, because I feel like Fiora may put a lot of pressure on into this Baron lane. But currently we have Reaper still in there. Reaper taking a lot of damage. Reaper managing to steal the Infernal Dragon, which is massive for APHRO, but a big upset for haters, because now we have Weasel going in, and it's just completely turned in favor of APHRO once again. They know how to turn this around for them, even after giving a little bit of false hope there to haters in that mid-engage earlier on.
Yeah, unfortunately, Frosty was split off from the rest of his team. He couldn't, like, the Fiora was on him, and he couldn't really, no one on his team was really in a position to help him. So the damage on his team was a little bit lost, but I'm looking at their builds, and I mean, the messaging with the Divine Sunder and Garen, I mean, Garen has Hullbreaker. He doesn't have the resistances when he's with his team, but he does have the damage. So, and Irelia damage, obviously. So I guess maybe I spoke too soon about the lack of consistent damage. Oh, fight going on? No, Volley just burns ult and gets out. But yeah, I was maybe spoke a bit too soon about the lack of consistent damage. I think they all have some. So it might be a little bit more even in terms of comp than I initially thought. But again, APHRO is still in a very commanding position with a 6,000 gold lead.
Definitely, yeah. It's kind of that kind of goal lead that's slowly going to get away from haters. I mean, we saw a great mid-engage towards the, I'd like to say, maybe 9 to 10 minute mark there. But after that Infernal Dragon steal and then the complete turnaround for APHRO in that whole team fight is, again, it's negating that mental goodness that they had earlier on in the match. Weasel, like I said, is now going to focus priority in these lanes and is doing so down in the bot lane. Garen having to defend the Dragon turret here. The second tier one, we're seeing a little bit of 1v1 going on in that Baron lane turret. Dragon lane turret, sorry. I think Fiora's going to come out on top of that. No. Oh, okay. No, not quite. Not quite. She does get the second tier turret, though. So the second tier turret is down. There is inhibitors wide open in the mid and bot lane, which is very interesting and puts haters in a tricky situation.
Yeah, similar to game 1, right? Where the Fiora is pushing up really hard. Oh, engage going. Oh, an absolute one-shot into the Varus. This one's going for
nicely
more.
Done. Yeah, that E into the Varus completely messed up his entire rhythm. There's that blast cone taking Reaper into the team fight, but they forgot that Volibear may roam wherever he pleases with that ultimate. But Ramita getting picked off here. Gragas only just getting out alive there very slightly, whilst Fiora's still doing her thing down in the bot lane. It's looking, like you said earlier, like a bit of a repeat of the first match where we saw Jax go head-to-head with the set in one of the lanes in the Baron lane, but this time around it has been flipped. But not quite getting that inhibitor turret, but doing enough damage to make haters double think their situation currently in these lanes.
One saving grace Garen does have is that he has Hullbreaker and Fiora doesn't, so it's not like he's struggling to kill her Hullbreaker minions, right? He actually has it on his own side, so it's not like Fiora will be like ignoring him and just hitting the tower, right? She'll be still have to fight him to get past.
Definitely. We're seeing a little bit of a different build here on APHRO's Varus this time around, so going for a third AP item, going for the Edge of the Night as well. Essence Reaver's still the same. And we are seeing Tengen being caught out. He does have these moments where he just falls short. There's the Chains of Corruption onto the Galio. Status nicely done. But we're getting a TP in from the Galio. Could this be huge for Lord Barros here? But it isn't enough to save Galio. Galio is going down as well. It is currently a 3-1 trade. So Tengen bared the cross, but was able to serve up for his team a 3-1 trade, which is going to be massive in this gold difference and setting up this 16-minute Baron and Nashor, which is going to be vital for APHRO in this last push to make this a victory, a 2-0 victory. It is looking like it is going to be another 2-0 victory for Red Team.
Yeah. And with Fiora finally finishing that Hullbreaker, I don't know if you have ever tried to kill a Hullbreaker and Baroned up minion, cannon minion. It's like an objective of itself. It's just so difficult to get rid of.
Yeah, it's like its own objective. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. But it's going to be interesting to see what APHRO do. Are they going to finish this match up now? Are they going to wait for the third dragon to come up? I don't understand why they would have to go for the dragon. It's not like haters have any chance of trying to get this dragon right now, especially like you say with the Hullbreaker and Baron Nashor minions currently. Look at the stat damage. It's just nutty in that Baron lane. Garen's needing a little bit of help here to try and contest the takedown of the inhibitor, and Galio does come in to assist Garen right now.
This does free up a lot of bot side space with the two people rotating top side. They are going for that Elder Dragon.
Yes. Elder Dragon is up. They want that perfect match. I mean, if APHRO managed to get this, I'm pretty sure it's written in the stars that they're going to take this victory. Massive Chains of Corruption there once again. So Varus with these Chains of Corruption has been nicely played and nicely executed. If it's not on the Galio, it's going onto one of the more brawler-centric champions like the Aurelia. But currently, we're seeing a little bit of a repeat here. So a jungle objective is being taken, but we have Whizzle in the enemy base looking up and eyeing up that Nexus nicely here. And she has the Baron minions with the Hullbreaker. Ramita is coming down in the bot lane as well with Reaper, with Tengen. It is over. The Nexus goes down, and APHRO Z3 take a solid 2-0 victory from haters.
Oh no, Fiora did the same thing as Jax did last game, just completely ignoring Lord Beerus, just taking that Nexus right in front of him because of how strong those Hullbreaker minions are.
Literally, but enough of us. We've had plenty of our voice throughout the game. We are going to go head over to Mr. Pierce. What did you think?
All right, and I'm here.